live feedings here as well. We try to keep them novel, but occasionally they do get a live fish feeding or live crayfish feeding. When we do live fish, those whiskers on their face are going to become very important, because if things are hiding in their pond, they're going to be able to sense for those vibrations, those breaks in the water that tell them how to navigate their food. So they may be missing out on a little bit of hearing, a little bit of sense of smell, of course, when they're underwater, but those whiskers are going to add that extra sensation of being able to navigate and find what they're looking for. So you'll notice when they're swimming around, you're going to see a lot of bubbles escaping from their fur. So these guys have a really awesome double coat of fur. They have kind of a thicker underlayer, that smoother top coat that has some moisture wicking capabilities. And in between those layers, they're going to be able to tuck air, essentially. So when they're done swimming, when they're ready to kind of crash out for the day or for a couple of hours until it's time to eat again, they're going to roll around, they're going to groom each other, kind of take good care of that fur, and they're going to, in doing so, put air in between those layers. So that air acts as an extra insulator. So if they're trying to stay cool, if they're trying to stay warm, it's going to help regulate their body temperature, which is a really cool feature for these guys. So they can swim throughout the winter, throughout the summer. You find them super far north, super far south, very well adapted, very good at maintaining a good body temperature. So you'll see these guys enjoying the snow just as much as you will see them enjoying a sunny day. Now these guys, like I mentioned earlier, are eating fish. So fish is one of their favorite foods. However, especially in the wild, they will eat other types of protein. So they will eat things like reptiles, amphibians, maybe even some birds' eggs, some birds, small mammals if they're desperate. But fish is going to be the main source of protein that these guys are going to go after. I mentioned earlier crayfish. It's another big hot topic or a hot button food item for these guys. So they are strictly carnivores. They are what we call obligate carnivores. They've got these really sharp canines, which are really great for kind of tearing through whatever meat they find, bones, exoskeletons. So these guys are built to eat meat. Now they don't want any sort of vegetation or plant matter, so they are strictly carnivorous animals. Now we do have river otters in Ohio, so we are very fortunate because the river otter population has actually been increasing. So what that tells us is some really cool stuff, because otters are what are considered an indicator species. So when otters move into an area, that tells us that the water quality is actually doing really well. So for those of you native Clevelanders or people who are at least familiar with the history of Cleveland, our water has not always been known as being the best, right? So we love to hear that our water quality is doing well. We love to see that otters are moving into the area more frequently. And that kind of tells our researchers, our scientists, that all of the restoration efforts that have been done to improve our waterways are actually working. So by the population increasing, we are going to see this really awesome feedback loop. You get a higher biodiversity of fish, higher biodiversity of plants, in return cleaner water, and then you guessed it, more otters. So awesome little loop. We're starting to see this population just kind of steadily increase over the years, and we're very, very happy about it. So, as I mentioned before, Calvin Emmett Atticus. Calvin is our oldest otter here at the museum. He has been with us since 2016. We have Emmett and Atticus, who have only been with us for the past few years. They are estimated a little closer to about 7 or 8 years old. As I mentioned earlier, nice little social dynamic going on here with our boys. If we were to add a girl into the mix, that would go out the window instantly. So we've got this great little social to compete over, nothing to kind of fight over. So our boys do enjoy a lot of social engagement, and you'll see as they continue to kind of swim about and interact with one another, they really enjoy the company of other otters. All right, so kind of these guys. Yeah.
Are there any of them in the Arctic?
In the Arctic? So not quite that far. These guys are North American river otters, so they're gonna mainly be kind of kept around the US. So you're gonna see them about as far north as you would see them is out west, kind of up towards the tippy top of the PNW, and then east, kind of the very eastern tip, up. Not really gonna see them go too much further. Yeah. How long? Yeah, so these guys live upwards of 20 plus years. We had an individual live to be 22, which was quite old for a river otter. In the wild, it's usually about half of that. And the interesting thing is that otters actually don't know how to swim when they're born. So just like us, mom has to kind of teach them from the start to show them how to be efficient swimmers. So they kind of start with like dunking them in the water, and then they will kind of move to longer durations and eventually swimming with them. And depending on how experienced mom is, she might just one day give them a little bit of a nudge. The males are going to venture off a little bit sooner because of the territorial kind of aspect of wanting to go off and kind of have their own space, have their own mates. But it's several